All right. We good this time?
I think so because it goes like in waves. So it's like your volume
Yeah.
is really loud and then it's like
Yeah, that
wow. It's really weird, but I don't hear that. I don't think I hear that anymore. I let you know if there is any problems. Okay.
okay, that's good.
But you talked
Um
about Japan.
yes, yeah, the Japanese crowds are always, there's just something special about them. They're so much more, I guess, animated. It's weird. For your band especially.
Uh,
You know what I mean?
that they're animated.
Yeah, like I don't know. I just get the feeling the Japanese crowds go a hell of a lot more wild over Amaranthe, I guess. It's just
Oh,
melodic metal in general over there is very,
I
very
would I
huge.
would think I think it's melodic metal. I mean, it seems they love it, and I mean, actually, I got the same. I got the impression that most of our audience are very equal when it comes to the energy level or the craziness. I don't know if it's our music that attracts that, because of course I haven't been to playing so much other shows with uh, other bands, so I don't know. But I mean, like, it was pretty equal when we played Moscow,
Oh,
and when we played Japan. Yeah, so and it's like completely different worlds. And then also when we toured the US, it's United States is also like they're just extremely loud and they're doing these mosh pits and they're just going crazy, which I love to see. It's so much fun. But with the Japanese people, I mean, like there is always like some kind of mystery around them because we don't know anything what's happening there. I mean, obviously we're very well known. We have a great like a big group of followers, but we don't know how they do that. I mean, like, because we don't read any of their Facebooks or we don't read any of their magazines. I mean, we don't understand any Japanese, of course. Obviously, it's really hard to read that language, and you can't. I don't know, but it seems so extremely arranged. Everything. I mean, from the second you step out on the airport, you have the nicest drivers with like white gloves and like you have this person who translates everything, a translator that follows you around everywhere, which is of course great because not so many people speak a lot of English. It's just like a completely organized world. And what I heard is that the Japanese people live under very like strict circumstances, and they have this very old tradition that they have a lot of respect for everything. They don't throw trash on the street, they don't do anything wrong, kind of. So if you come there as a tourist, it's like everybody should experience that. It's really pretty amazing. And the good part is that you wish that the whole world looked like that. They don't almost have any criminality or anything. But on the downside, what we heard is that people also get very stressed by that they always have to be perfect and not break any rules. Or, they have a lot of pressure on themselves. They work very hard, obviously. So the point is that when they come to metal concerts, where there is kind of no rules,
yeah, no, I
they
get that.
can get that's when they pull out the crazy. And that's the impression. That's what at least the rumor says. Because of course you can't know for sure, but that's what the myth says, is that when they get the chance to go to a metal concert, they just go crazy because they have so much, in them that they need to bring out, and they are allowed to do that in a concert.
Yeah, that seems perfectly reasonable because
Uh,
I read
I
it.
even
Is it cutting out again?
no, I'm sorry. It's just me talking in your mouth. I'm sorry.
Okay.
And it's so fun because I've seen so many people sleeping everywhere at any time. And it's just like, I mean, in Sweden, that's pretty unpolite, actually,
Okay.
to fall asleep. Like anywhere, it's like, okay, so you you're just gonna sleep here now or what? But yes, that's true. And we take the train usually, because that's the easiest way to travel with a fast train between Osaka, for example, and Tokyo, and this other place we played at, Nagoya. And everybody's sleeping on the train, and then they have those rules, of course, that you can't speak. And then our growler, Henrik, he's very loud. So he's like, "Roar, roar, 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 roar," and I felt so bad, and I was ashamed, you know. I really felt like, okay, we are the very people, the kind of people that they probably hate right now, like extremely unpolite and just talking loud, being annoying, not making the people. So I had to kind of tell him to speak a little bit less loud, and yeah, it's pretty odd.
So it's actually frowned upon to speak on trains in Japan. Is that what you're saying?
Yes, they have this little sign like you're not allowed to speak in
Wow.
phone, and you're not allowed to. Ella, you should just respect like being quiet and all that.
That's fascinating. I had no idea.
Yeah,
Okay.
I know, me too. So it's like, I mean, it's it's very nice. I mean, I really appreciate it, but also it makes you feel like you're a monster, like entering there, just taking so much space because you're also so much bigger than everybody else, and just like so much more loud and disrespectful. And I mean, I'm talking a lot of shit about Henrik right now, I feel, but he smokes and
I won't tell him.
that motherfucker, you should write. He threw a cigarette fimp, you know, on the ground.
Oh no.
And it was like so clean everywhere, and it was a big sign saying you are not allowed to throw it here. And I was like, hey, I'm like, I have to act like the police. I was like, hey, you can't throw it there, you have to throw it in the trash. I was like, look how clean it is, you have to respect that. So it is both very fun and both very takes a lot of energy to travel there with a band, with a rock band, a metal band, or whatever we call us.
Okay. Wow.
Yeah. So
Nice
it takes a lot of
reason for
energy, and it's like hard to live naturally. I mean, you're so used to just throw your cigarettes on the ground, and if you have like trash, you just throw it. And I mean, like, it's like that in Europe and a lot of places on Earth, but not in Japan. So you have to behave if you're going there. Oh, I see your questions now. So the question number 5, I guess, yeah, it's about like it's always something different, and now you put on a maximalism and it's really, really different too, again. And you are right about that. I think that, you know, since we have so much inspiration and different angles, and that we followed always and kind of mixed together, we always feel like we are pretty unlimited as a band and songwriters, which makes us kind of, I mean, we almost freak out when we get the chance to write a new album, because we feel like, okay, we can take this anywhere, and we are very eager always to put in new influences into the music, because we believe that, I mean, it's both fun for us but also for the listeners. So that's why we again decided to bring in refreshment and new thinking, I mean, for being us, like for us as a band, and to show that we are not getting stuck and we are not out of any ideas, and this is how we would love to keep it, if it's possible, for the future as well, to develop in that direction. And I'm just going to continue to talk about this album because we wanted to make it more diverse than the previous ones, because the only critique we've got so far, I mean, we got, of course, critique, and you should not always listen to it, but it's been always something that the song sounds the same, some of them, and that they didn't know that or think that we could develop with that kind of concept as a band. So that's also what kind of triggered us to develop even more and always bringing something new and fresh for the future, for all the albums. And now I'm reading number 6 here. Yes, we also thought that since we have these kind of elements in the music, like electronic instruments, and that's the reason for the title also a lot, like maximalism. It's the opposite of minimalism, so that we thought that if we maximize ourselves as people, human beings, and maximize the sound and maximize every like influence inside the band, that's what we focus on for this album, and therefore the name Maximalism. So we thought that it's for the song Limitless, that it would be a cool and a different thing for us to just stick to the electronic vibes in the beginning, and then we bring in the rock and metal for the second chorus. And I have not listened to this British band, but I will now after seeing that it reminded you of that. I'm reading our 7th question. On the first album, it seemed to be about all of those massive harmonies. Oh yeah. I also love harmonies, by the way. Because what I mean is that the harmonies are not so that our voices, the lead vocal stands out more in the chorus.
Yes. Yeah.
But that was actually not conscious. I think that maybe, I think that now when I listen to it, I believe that the harmonies are just in a lower mix than they used to be. And maybe it's something that happened to our ears, that we can hear them very clear. And because I thought about it. I even asked, like, before we did the final mix, to the producer to raise the harmonies. To put them higher, because it's a lot about the I love harmonies, and the harmonies are really good on this album too. But like, yes, it's unconscious, and they are like in a lower volume. Maybe if you listen in other speakers, you could hear them better. I don't know. Okay, it's a funny thing you mentioned that though. And like you mentioned here again, Jacob Hansen. We did the final mix and the vocals in Jacob Hansen's studio. But actually, we did the drums, the bass, and the guitars recordings in Gothenburg in Top Floor Studios with a producer called Jakob Herman. Exactly. So you said you talked. Olof said something about that. That's correct. Ooh, this is so funny. It's very. I also like Boomerang and Endlessly. Those are probably my 2 favorite songs. So we have the same taste there, I guess. And epic Disney movie, because I love Disney. I always love Disney, and so do Olof. And he's also very much into like classical music. And actually, we also thought that let's maximize, those ideas and make it that way instead of making it halfway. We thought that we could. We talked about bringing in real strings, and instead of just talking about it, we made it happen, because I know a guy who is a Grammy Award winning arranger for strings, and he's been on a lot of albums, like Taylor Swift's album, also a lot of metal albums. His name is Mattias Bylund, so you should check it out. And he won an American Grammy last year. And he's arranging the harmonies the strings for Endlessly song, and I guess that's what makes it very like Disney or like that. And that's just something we love, and the song is it just happened. I think we wrote it in like an hour, and it was one evening when we had a long emotional talk, me and Olof, and then that song came about. Oh yeah, musical theater. That was because I wanted to be I always been writing songs because that's something I love. I started when I was like 12, I think. I recorded and arranged my first song in a studio, and I actually have the recording somewhere in some drawer. It's like on a cassette, so I can't play it anymore because I don't have this cassette player anymore. But anyways, that's when I started to write songs, and I knew because that's well known that it's very hard to be a solo artist, and it's a lot of work, and it's very hard. It's like mostly a dream to a lot of people. So then I thought like, okay, so how can I achieve my dream, being a songwriter and singer, and hopefully get a record deal in the future? But I mean, I wanted to make sure that I could work with the things that I love, which is singing and dancing and theater. So I decided to become a musical artist. So I've been first in the high school, I went 3 years, and at the musical theater education together with the ground school classes, and then I took audition to a professional school for performing arts. It's called a performing arts school, and it's when you go the education, you get the paper like that you are a professional artist, and you're allowed to search every job as a musical artist or other things that has to do with music. So that's what I did. So I am actually a musical artist on the paper. So if I would like to go and audition on Broadway or somewhere else around the world, I have this diploma, this paper that I kind of bought for 300,000 Swedish crowns because I passed the education. So in the future, I could maybe play the Cruella de Vil or something in a musical. Or, I mean, like, there is no age limit on being a musical theater actor or singer. So I have not still given up that dream, and that's something that I would like to do. I know that a lot of rock artists and other artists do that, actually. Oh, I did growls, and that was Elize Ryd who taught me when we went on tour together in New Orleans, and we were a little bit tipsy because we had been drinking these green drinks. I don't know what, hand grenades, and we were in a loud club, and she said just like, yeah, you should just do like this and do like. She showed me how to do it, and I did it, and I kind of learned how to do that. And then when I went on tour and she wasn't there, I said that, well, but I could probably pull it up, and it's such a small part, so that's why I did that. And yeah, I don't think I could pull off a whole show like Henrik does. Yes, we're going on the 21st. We're starting, and before that we're having pre-rehearsals for that tour. And so the break I have now is just a few days, and I'm doing mostly interviews, but it's fine, and we're very much looking forward to go on tour with this new album. Mm. Oh, thank you so much. We have tried so many times to go to New Zealand and Australia, and like I said, it's one of my biggest dreams. And since ABBA was my first idols, and I saw their live DVD, which I I thought it was filmed in Japan, so my dream was always to go to Japan. And then a few years ago now, when I got older, because I was like 7 then, it's like, no, but it's the DVD, it was filmed in Australia, that's the thing. And I was like, oh my god, I thought the wrong thing country about this DVD my whole life. And not only because of that, of course, because people say it's a super chill country and like extremely nice people, and I have a lot of friends who move there to study, and you have kangaroos, and I cannot wait to come there. And we talk about it every year, like, okay, but this year we should make a tour there, and this year we should make a tour there. And I promise that sooner or later, hopefully before as soon as possible, I promise that we are going to try to make a tour there, and I can't wait. And I hope that you are going to come there too. And now the last question then. Yeah. Before I dive fantasy, we have to pull up great show there when we get the chance to come. I mean, Camelot went there. They asked me if I wanted to go, but I was busy, so I couldn't follow, and I was so extremely sad about that. Hey, you know what? That also inspired us extremely much, because I never forget. I mean, we read a lot of the comments that we get, and like you say, there are a lot of people in your age, probably then, I guess, listening to Amaranth, who is like in the educational state, and and you are right about the positive vibe that we put out there. It's also like one thing that we want to light, what we want to write songs, because we feel also refreshed by the feeling that you can, use positive energy to and inspire people. That is much more fun, since you get the chance to be a band and an artist and influence or inspire people. I think that, I mean, it's so obvious that you would like to then bring them positive energy, since you have a great opportunity to put out albums still. And that's something we always wanted to focus on, because we were actually pretty depressed when we started the band, and there was a lot of bad things happening in our lives, and we were very down, and we thought that should we just write like depressing songs, and I was like, no, I don't feel like that. And Olof, my best friend, and also Jake, who's the three of us that writes the songs, we were like, no, fuck that, we should just focus on the hope and like positive things, and that we can do this. So a lot of the songs they're still made for others, but also a lot for ourselves. And it helps a lot, and I'm so grateful for that now, since we tour a lot, to actually, I mean, it makes even me positive, and I feel like it was the right decision, even if it was unconscious. I mean, we didn't know that what was going to happen in the future, but that we made that decision, and that's a formula we probably will never stop to follow, to inspire and lift people. But like I said, we read a lot of comments, and there was this girl on university, and I think she was studying to become a doctor, and some girl also who was studying to cure cancer. And no matter what kind of education you have, but I mean, I was just like, wow, I mean, it's so nice when you actually can see that there are people who is actually, they are going to make a big change for everybody in the future by their educations. And what are you studying, by the way?
Well, first, can you hear me okay now?
Yeah.
Huh, that's hilarious, right at the end of the fucking interview. Anyway, no, I study geographical information, which is basically like digital mapping.
Oh my
So,
God, that's so cool. I'm just going to say that. And also, like, being in school, and it's all about the future, kind of, and you need encourage. And it was very nice to hear that you also feel refreshed and happy, and that's exactly what we would like to make people think. And like I said, since we also are aware of it, it makes us even more inspired to continue to encourage people to be positive and feel strong. But that's also what we kind of prove now, is that we didn't know that we could be successful, but of course we always dreamed about it. And and it's really nice to then actually be here sitting talking to you from New Zealand, and realize that because of the way we've fought, and our the will or the dream you have, you can achieve anything, and that is not a lie. And that message should go through everybody, that everybody has a chance to become or do whatever they like if they work hard. And yeah, so good luck with your education.
okay, thank you. Good luck with the tour.
Thanks, and I really hope to come to Australia soon.
All right,
It was great talking to you, even though I'm so sorry about I think this happened when I talked to Australia before. It's very far.
Well, it's better than.
And now you Exactly, it's better. And I thank you for sending the questions. I hope that you got everything you needed, and hopefully I see you at the show in New Zealand. And good luck with the school. And I hope you can sleep a little bit.
I'll try.
Okay, good.
Bye.
That's it. Take care. Bye.